No Europe for Manchester United this season, which is extremely strange for many Manchester United fans who are so used to travelling home and away in Europe with their club. And when we think of Manchester United, we think of people in the past like, of course, the standout Cristiano Ronaldo, who has been in a chat, not for the first time, with Piers Morgan on Piers Morgan Uncensored. And various clips are coming out of that chat. And of course, almost inevitably, the subject matter gets round to Manchester United. For someone who achieved so much with the club, is there now something of a strange bitterness from Cristiano Ronaldo towards United? Speaking to Piers, Ronaldo was asked his thoughts on the Ruben Amorim and the job he's doing at United, who last week celebrated 1 year in charge at the club.
He do it to his best. What are you going to do? Miracles? Miracles is impossible. We say in Portugal, miracles is only in Fatima. You're not going to do miracles. Even the players, Manchester United have good players, but then don't have, some of them, the mind what is Manchester United is. Right now, they don't have a structure. I hope that change in the future, present future, because the potential of the club, it's amazing. It's one of the most important clubs of the century.
Miracles. Miracles, Danny. This is what he says is needed. Miracles are impossible. He's not over complimentary about this current Manchester United under Amorim. Does that surprise you?
Well, not really, because up until recently, where they've had a little good run, it's been a failure. So he's only stating the obvious, really. He can't work miracles. No, he's got to do better, and he is doing better. More recently, Amorim, with the players they brought in, things are looking a bit better. But I don't think he said anything there too controversial. United are a massive club, yes, one of the biggest, and they are not punching anywhere near to the weight they should be for the size of the club and the money they make. Are they on the right track? Well, time will tell. Give it a few more games. We'll see where they're at. But they're definitely better in recent weeks. Than
I think so, Simon. I mean, are we in the territory of hyperbole to suggest that Amorim needs a miracle to succeed there?
No, I know. I'm always surprised when Piers does his interviews with Ronaldo that he doesn't bring a smoke machine or dry ice because he blows enough at Ronaldo's backside. Look, it doesn't require a miracle to make Manchester United into a good football team. It requires a good football manager and some proper thinking about recruitment and some reinstalling of the basic disciplines and principles behind what made Man United a great side once before. And if Amorim's got the chops to do that, then it won't be a miracle that does it. It'll be lots of money and a bit of patience. That's not the same as a miracle. Ronaldo's vitriol towards Manchester United comes with the fact that he wasn't afforded the courtesies and luxuries that he thought he was entitled to. In terms of he was able to do precisely what he wanted because he was such a wonderful player once upon a time. He was brought back to Man United. And this idea that Ronaldo, the last set of interviews with Piers, which is a wonderful get, and Piers is one of the few people that can get it, so I'm not going to be too clever about it, but he was allowed to say things that were clearly that were either debatable or misrepresentative about how he had conversations with the club president. No one knows who the club president was because it was the chairman probably he was speaking to, probably Ed Woodward or the other fella. So all of those things went unchallenged, but he was very vitriolic in a way. And let's not forget how he engineered a circumstance by doing the interview with Piers Morgan in the first place to get himself out of a Man United contract because he wasn't happy. So he spent his entire time dumping all over Man United because he didn't feel, in my view, I might be wrong, that he was given the prerequisite amount of courtesy for being Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things he alluded to were actually pretty much on the money. Like the leaky roof at the stadium. This is Manchester United.
Yeah,
like Manchester United has fallen further and further behind.
That's popcorn headlines, cheap media crap. That's not going to be the reasons why they're...
No, it was Ronaldo saying it.
I know, but it's cheap crap from Ronaldo. It's popcorn headlines from Ronaldo.
Yeah, it wouldn't be relevant if they just won the league.
If they're winning games, they would care. It's not about that. So it was an easy get to say, well, the roof's leaking or the training ground isn't, and he hasn't moved on to this, that,
no,
and
it was
the other.
To be fair to him, it was about standards and upholding those standards, and that's what, in his view, Manchester United has always been about.
And I don't think he upheld the standards of his own conduct when he went there. So I think he wants to turn the fingers that he's pointing to other people back on himself at the time when he was at Man United, because I don't think he covered himself in glory either. Look, the fact is, it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo's got millions of followers. Piers has a digital platform that Ronaldo as a get is going to give him huge numbers. What insight we're going to get, what balanced views we're going to get, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Ronaldo, of course, in there says what many people say, but I mean, he's certainly in a category that he's allowed to say it. Manchester United, one of the most important clubs of the century, and it's always said, "Oh, this is Manchester United. This is Manchester United." Alan Pardew, speaking to Majestic on the Final Word show last Sunday, said it virtually the same thing, that the Premier League needs Manchester United because this is Manchester United.
For Amorim, I think this is probably what he needed this year, just to sort of work on the team, get his ideas across, sort that energy out in midfield, as you're saying, Jill, and get the striker up and running. And maybe we'll have a Manchester United that we can all be proud of as a country, because, you know, let's be honest, they're still the biggest club in the world in terms of supportive.
Not one football fan in the world other than Man United fans want to be proud of Man United.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm not a Man United fan.
Mate, you are on your own.
I must admit, I'm kind of with Majestic on that one. If you're not a United fan, you don't really give a damn, do you?
No, I think what Alan was probably alluding to is the fact if Man United are successful and powerful and being good again, that it benefits everyone in football. Maybe he's going on that. Well, because it makes it more
biggest brand.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, let's have it right. Man United are probably, if not the biggest digital footprint in football, they are one of the biggest footprints. And the reasons why the broadcast deals have appealed so much to the overseas media businesses. That
but has the Premier League fallen off a cliff over the last decade because of Manchester United's decline?
No, but Man United.
So that disproves.
But Man United, no, it doesn't, because Man United has been in the conversation for different reasons. If you continue to decline as a brand, if one of your leading brands within the confines of your business doesn't achieve any value going forward over a period of time, it will eventually diminish the overall proposition. Well, unless you're going to put another brand in there that's as equally as appealing.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
Who?
Well, if you look at, so for example, over
Man City.
Klopp and Guardiola went toe for toe.
Arguably.
Yeah, so Man City and Liverpool went toe for toe. Klopp and Guardiola. That was exciting to the worldwide audience. Can you imagine that was Man U and Liverpool?
How's the Man City brand doing if it loses its 115 charges against it? How's the Man City brand doing when we know that ultimately it's a part and parcel of image laundering?
But you agree with me, you don't say a leading brand forever, do you? Manchester United have no divine right to be called, they're one of the world leaders.
Tell that to Coca-Cola.
One of the big brands.
Tell that to Coca-Cola and to John Lewis or which other brands that we think are leading brands that influence the way people think about certain things. The fact of the matter is that, do I care whether Man United are successful? No, I don't. Do I think that they're a valuable asset to the overall collateral that's driven the opportunity? Of course they are. There's no coincidence.
A valuable asset.
A significant valuable asset.
Yeah.
The primary asset. There's no surprise that when the Premier League started its engines, Man United had been asleep for 26 years. They went and dominated it for the next 5 years. They won 4 of the first 5 Premier Leagues. Because when the big guns rolled in and the real money started coming in, Man United came alive again.
But the big guns stay the big guns. Real Madrid, possibly bigger than Manchester United in terms of a brand, and currently leading La Liga by 5 points from Barcelona. You stay a big brand because of what you do in the pitch.
And look at the league that they play in. And look at the broadcast revenues that they get in that league. And look at Javier Tebas constantly bitching and whining as the chair of La Liga about the power of the English Premier League, which was in part created and seeded by Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, the big 5 that originally created it, which was Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man United, and whoever else the third one was, or fifth one was, Everton. But the fact of the matter is that it's undeniable that Man United still get more news than most teams do for being crap than other teams do for being good.
And also they've got such a huge worldwide fan base.
Indeed.
They're not losing them because they've had a few bad years.
But does that make the Premier League better off?
Yes, economically, yes. What's your argument? No,
you don't need Manchester United winning the Premier League title to make it a better Premier League.
Nobody said that. What you need is a thriving Man United, adding
strong
value.
Manchester United.
Yeah, and you haven't had that.
Yeah,
and so I would even Pardew in his most obtuse, which is probably a regular position for him, could argue that people want to see Man United winning the Premier League, or he wants to see Man United winning the Premier League. What you want is the very best brands, the very best version of English football, i.e. its brands, its iconic football clubs, being strong. Because United is a strong proposition, Liverpool is a strong proposition, Arsenal, and also, to be fair, allowing other football clubs like Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa and Newcastle to have a nibble at the top table is important too.
But in the last decade, we've seen record points totals, but we've also witnessed the demise of Manchester United. Hasn't done the Premier League any harm, really, has it?
If you allowed, if the
That's right. Answer that.
yes, because the broadcast deals have gone backwards. So answer that. You've had to give away 30% more product and
That's
your
not
domestic.
intrinsically linked.
Well, of course it is, because the broadcast deals and the value of the proposition are indexed to the engagement with it. It's also indexed to piracy, of course. But if you want what happened to the Bundesliga to be at one side, like Manchester City dominating it by winning 4 or 5 Premier Leagues, like Bayern Munich have dominated 10 out of the 11 last Bundesligas, you've got a very sterile football framework, which will then eventually erode the opportunity, and it won't have the same appeal.
The question is really easy. If Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool go head to head for the next 2 or 3 years, and there's a point difference at the end of each season, for example, is that going to create bigger audience views and more interest than United not being in it?
Look at the digital footprint.
Yeah.
Look at the digital footprint of these football clubs, and look at where Man United are, and look at the other football clubs and ask, because the way that the world is right now, it's been digital is the traffic that's driving everything. That's the space. Linear broadcasting is catching a cold. Radio's doing well, but television is not. It's catching a cold. So with that in mind, if you look at the digital footprint of Man United and say, is it a valuable proposition? Yeah, it's one of the biggest digital footprints in football around the world. So pack it in, Jim.
No. I'm not with you on it. I'm not with you on it. We need a strong Manchester United.
We don't. I think the Premier League commercially would definitely benefit.
Yeah.
And I think from a football point of view, it would be beneficial for the pundits and for fans alike. But no, you don't need it for the Premier League to still thrive and be successful. Would it be more successful if United were doing well? Yes.
You've just said it.
Yes, they would.
You don't need.
You don't need it now.
No.
Does a successful major brand like Man United add value?
Yeah.
And enhance the proposition?
No one's saying it doesn't add value.
Right. So if it enhances a proposition, if you don't keep enhancing something, eventually you stand still. If you stand still, you go backwards. So yes, it is damaging not to have a major brand like Man United being moderately successive.
Simon, you're talking nonsense. Coca-Cola hasn't changed in quality. Manchester United have.
Some people would say it has.
Well, the fizz has gone out. Manchester United.
Some people would say that by doing Diet Coke in their Coke Zero, they've dilated their own proposition. So it has changed. So what are you on about?
Oh, steady yourself. Do you get into bed at night when your Manchester United jammies on?
No, I don't. But I get into the bed with a coherent argument.
Oh,
even if it's with myself. It's the only thing I get into bed with.
The only option you got, yeah. I was going to say.
Let's put it out there. I mean, to be honest, the argument surrounding Manchester United is that the Premier League needs a strong Manchester United.
Would benefit from.
From. No, no, that's not what we asked.
No, we're not using Pardew as a lightning rod, are we? We're debating it, taking it broader.
Is it crazy to suggest that Amorim needs a miracle to succeed at Manchester United? And also, does the Premier League need a strong Manchester United from a brand point of view? You might want to give us a shout on that one. Simon's wearing his Manchester United badge on his lapel this lunchtime.